Hey there, my name is Sage and you are watching D&D Daily. Today I had a homebrew idea that I wanted to share with you. So this idea came from poking around the Profane Soul Blood Hunter. The Blood Hunter is a homebrew class built by Matthew Mercer, and at 18th level it gets a feature that makes it so if somebody dies within 30 feet of them, they can take that soul and kind of feed it to their patron. They then take damage and they get a spell slot back, as well as having advantage on all their attacks and resistance to piercing, slashing, and bludgeoning damage. So it's a really big boost, but what I like is the interaction with the patron. I like that they're grabbing the soul that they just killed and are like feeding it to their patron. And I think it's really cool, and it's funny to me that it's on not the Warlock. Why aren't the Warlocks interacting with their patrons? And that's something I kind of wanted to dive into. Now I'm going to start by saying that I haven't balanced this out. This is just a concept and an idea, so go into it with a grain of salt, go into it with a balancing mindset, and testing the waters to see what works for you and your party. Here's the idea. Each patron has certain desires, certain wants. A celestial patron might want you to be lawful good and to protect the innocent, whereas a fiend that is a devil might want to make deals. An undead might want blood. You know, there's a whole bunch of different desires that they have, and the idea behind Warlocks is we're getting our power from those creatures because we're helping them do something, right? It's a relationship. So to further pull out that flavor and to further expand on it and have mechanics that fit that flavor, here's the idea. If you are in alignment with what your patron wants you to do, once a day you can get an extra spell slot. Simple as that. So, for example, say you want an extra spell slot and you go, hey, genie patron, give me an extra spell slot. And you hear in your head that your genie be like, for 2,000 gold, I'll give you an extra spell slot. Because genies want their money, right? And that kind of creates this cool interaction where you can buy a spell slot and you can have this little bit of a quick negotiation to see how much your spell slot costs. That's pretty cool. So here's some other ideas. Protect the weak for the Celestial. Show that you're protecting the weak, and the Celestial gives you an extra spell slot that day. So if you have a demon fiend patron, maybe make a sacrifice, whether it be your own or something else. It's similar to the one that the Blood Hunter was doing, where you kill something and then you bring its soul to that demon. By doing that, maybe you get that extra spell slot. For the Pact of the Fiend, but it's a devil patron, maybe you make a deal with it. Could be small, could be big, but you make a deal, and that's how you get your spell slot. For the Yugoloth fiend, I think giving up gold because they are mercenaries is one that would make sense. For the Great Old One Warlock, maybe lose a little bit of sanity. Have some sort of function of sanity points where you can only lose so much sanity in a row, and if you're using it every day, it progressively gets worse, and then if you don't use it for a day, it gets one step better, and so you kind of have this sliding scale of sanity to play with. Could be fun. For the Archfey, I was thinking a wild magic surge, that a couple times that day after you take that spell slot, just randomly wild magic surges happen. For the Hexblade, maybe you slice your hand using your blade to kind of feed it your blood. Now for the undead / the undying, all undead have compulsions, and so you would feed their compulsion. So for example, if your patron is Strahd, his compulsion is to feed on blood, so you would have to give him blood one way or another. Another undead is going to have another compulsion. A lich might be seeking knowledge, and it could be a similar scale to the sliding scale that we did for the Great Old One Warlock, but instead of sanity, it could be intelligence, that you literally lose intelligence points every day that you're doing this, and then you can get them back on the days you're not. Another kind of cool concept for the Celestial is maybe if your ally took damage, you could say, okay, I'm taking that damage, and if it hits a certain damage threshold, then you get a spell slot. So if you take over 20 damage in one hit, you get a spell slot and you protect your ally. Kind of cool. So this is the whole concept. It's just interacting with your patron to get benefits. I think it's awesome because that is the flavor of Warlocks, and we just further compound that mechanically. I love it. Now, I want to hear from you guys. How would you use this concept? Would you use this concept? What are your critiques? Show me in the comments down below. We are D&D Daily. We release new D&D content every single day, so if that's interesting to you, hit the subscribe button and we'll see you on the next one. Later.